People with a learning disability may have many strange or difficult behaviours that we do not always understand. A small percentage may present behaviour that is a challenge to us or to our service. How do you define this problem or challenge? Many people have tried.
In our experience, it will relate to what we perceive the behaviour to be and what our tolerance is. It will vary between individuals, families and staff teams. What are the challenges that we face?
I guess we meet all the usual challenges, certainly violent and aggressive behaviours, self-injury, and a range of other behaviours which actually make it difficult for the person to fit into a community or to live in normal community settings.
Behaviour challenges that we face in our work are many and varied, and really depends upon what people see as a problem. In my experience, it has been that if a staff team or a family or someone caring for an individual finds something difficult, then that's a problem and that's a challenge.
Staff never know what to expect. There's something hanging over them, there's something in the background, and that can be very difficult.
The common situations in addressing challenging behaviour, and when people are asking for help, tend to be, in staff group homes for example, is managing an individual and trying to protect and trying to not upset the other people that are there. It can be anything from somebody who screams a lot to somebody who's aggressive and physically violent, for somebody who's very disturbed and coming up with odd ideas, to somebody who refuses to help in group living or in a task, or refuses to take their medication.
I mean, some behaviours that we're dealing with tend to be very frequent indeed. So you might be talking about attacks on staff on a regular basis, half a dozen times even during a day. I mean, with other clients you have behaviours which might be occasional, but are actually quite devastating when they happen. So a major attack, a sort of life-threatening incident, and obviously that's something which is in the back of people's minds all the time.
Research shows that in behaviour challenges, that verbal behaviours or behaviours that are about demands made upon people happen a lot more often than physically aggressive behaviours or self-injurious behaviours.
By observing behaviour, it increases our understanding and knowledge of the individual. Being aware of what influences our perception, or what we believe about the behaviour, may alter our attitude.
We have to look, if we're managing and working with somebody, the sort of impact that we have on their behaviour. So it can be that a sudden movement, a flippant remark, a demand made may upset somebody. So in understanding it, we have to look at how we interact with that person and what our relationship is with that person.
We try and look at a particular profile, look at what sort of difficulties are occurring, and look at why they're occurring. I mean, many of our clients tend to have had a background, a history in institutional care, and it seems probable that a lot of the behaviours that they display now have actually been learned in other contexts. Having said that, sometimes it's new, and it's whereas you cannot usually predict what's going to happen, every now and again something comes along which is totally out of the blue, and staff have to be prepared for that as well.
Behaviours occur for a number of reasons. There is research-based evidence that a reactive plan or strategy is important in managing situations. But what should these plans or strategies consist of?
We know that understanding behaviour helps staff to manage it and will reduce the frequency of incidents. But how can we gain an understanding or perspective? What in your experience winds people up?
I know what winds me up. If I've had a very stressful day and there are lots of demands and things happening around me, and then there are lots of other things I have to carry out, my stress levels will rise and I'll become much more intolerant. As the day goes on, I'll get much more tired, and then little things may begin to irritate me.
it's the same for our clients as it is for you and I. Confrontation winds people up. Demands tend to wind people up. Situations where I think they and we feel helpless tends to get people agitated and aggressive.
An essential part of reactive planning is knowing the person. Therefore, we are able to predict what may wind them up.
We know that many behaviours are long-standing. While longer-term proactive planning can help day-to-day management, it is essential to have short-term reactive plans. These address situations when people are becoming upset and what to do when they become aggressive.
Our reactive plans should contain a collection of behaviour management strategies which focus on avoiding conflict. We should beware of the triggers that may inflame an existing situation, for example through touch or eye contact. We must be careful not to pass on an arousing non-verbal message or adopt an aggressive posture or tone of voice. Where possible, demands should be reduced or removed. Let's look at a situation.
No! I want it! I want it! No!
What has caused Paul and Gerald to become upset? Gerald and Paul have difficulty with sharing. Gerald dislikes the television channel being changed, even though he may have little understanding of the programme content.
No! I want it! I want it! No! No! I want it! I want it! No!
Paul has more interest in watching a programme and can be reasoned with.
Gerald, calm down, calm down. Paul, shall we go and watch television in your room?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Good idea. There we
It will be easier for him to be removed than create a potentially difficult situation with Gerald. Paul can be redirected to watch TV in his own room.
Hi, Paul. How you doing?
All right.
Good. What are you watching?
This
My
approach
favourite
is
programme.
based on finding the
Oh, yeah,
least
what's that?
aversive way of solving the problem between Gerald and
Unfaithful
Paul.
women.
It will still be important to work with them on sharing and how to give and take,
Argue.
but a large area of conflict has been dealt with. Another common area of difficulty is repetitive behaviours.
Hello.
Claire, who's on? Who's on later?
Can you just give me...
Sorry.
Okay.
Who's on later? Who's on later, Claire?
Gerald, I top...
Who's on later?
Gerald, I'll look it up in a minute.
Later, who's on later? Claire, who's on later?
I'm busy right now, Gerald. Can you just give me a moment, please?
Who's on later? Claire, who's on later?
Gerald, I've
Sorry,
told you-
behaviour. Sorry. Claire, who's on?
Yeah, Gerald, please.
Who's on-
I've told you I'll look it up in a minute. I'm just
Who's
gonna
on
finish
later?
this, okay?
Who's on later? Who's on later? Claire, who's on later?
Why don't you go and watch TV for a mo? Gerald, why don't you...
Sorry.
Just go and watch the television or something. Gerald.
Who's on later? Claire?
Gerald, just please... Why don't you just go and watch some telly for a moment and I'll tell you in a minute.
Can't go.
5 minutes. 5 minutes, Gerald. Can you give me a moment?
Later. Who's on later? Who's on later on?
Let me have a look for you now. Oh, hi.
Who's on later?
I'll tell you in a minute, please. Just give me a minute, Gerald. Just got to finish this. Yeah, let me take the tablet
How could Claire have managed the situation more successfully?
Hello.
Claire, who's on? Who's on later?
Can you just give me...
Sorry.
Claire is distracted by her paperwork and does not sense Gerald's increasing anxiety. By not immediately responding to the situation, it quickly gets out of control.
Gerald, I'll look it up in a minute.
Later, who's on later? Claire, who's on later?
I'm busy right now, Gerald. Can you just give me a moment, please?
Who's on later? Claire, who's on later?
Gerald,
Sorry, behaviour. Sorry. Claire, who's on?
Yeah, Gerald, please. I've told you I'll look it up in a minute.
What does Gerald want? Why is the member of staff irritated? Gerald may be unable to complete his expression to his satisfaction because the staff are not giving him the time and space or finding the correct answer. The result is frustration, anxiety, anger, and self-injury. Here is another way of handling the situation.
Hiya.
Yeah.
You all right, Gerald?
Hey, Claire, who's on later? Who's on later on?
Tracy's on later.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who's later, though? Who's later on?
It's Tracy.
Who's on later?
Tell you what, do you want to come and sit down for a minute?
Is it?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at these pictures.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
It's Tracy.
I like her.
Do you?
She's bringing my book in later.
What book's that?
Is it? Tracy's bringing it.
Brilliant.
That's
I'm
my
sure
book.
she will. Hiya.
Hiya, Paul.
Hi, Joe. I've got a headache.
Got a headache, have you? Yeah. Oh, do you want to come and sit down a minute? Just looking at pictures of people at work here.
She's coming in later.
Tracy.
She's coming later.
I like Tracy.
She's bringing my book in later.
Where's Peter?
That's Pete, yeah.
I like Peter.
This example is more successful because it is less confrontational and tries to accommodate Gerald's frustration and anxiety. Behaviour occurs in the context of powerful emotions. For example, anxiety, anger, craving. These make demands upon our central nervous system to fight or flee, to get our needs or wants met, or to have our say on injustice. A large proportion of challenging behaviours are preceded by a demand or a request. As we react to situations, our arousal level rises, slowly at first, and then steeply. This will result in a set of behaviours that have been learned or evolved in order to vent our feelings. They avoid a demand, allow us to get our way, or fulfill a need. Some people's behaviour is an expression of emotion or an attempt to communicate. They may be unable to express their feelings, needs, or frustrations. Kathy has difficulty communicating her needs and also has self-injurious behaviours and movement difficulties.
Hey, Peter.
Back off the Gerard.
Are we going to the park, is it, Peter?
Tea. Claire, tea.
Yeah, we'll have tea in a minute. Just sit yourself down, okay?
The types of behaviour Kathy is displaying causes the staff great anxiety. They struggle to understand what Kathy is trying to say to them.
Don't know, maybe she's got a headache. Oh, all right, Kathy.
While staff need to eliminate potential causes of distress, talking in front of her about her problems may actually increase her anxiety.
Kathy, can I have a look at your throat? Perhaps she's got a sore throat. Can I have a look at... All right. Okay, let's go to the toilet. Maybe she's wet. Come on, Kathy, let's go to the toilet. let's sort you out. Come on. That's it. Come on. That's it. Let's go to the toilet. Brilliant. Excellent. Come on. That's it.
What could be the other reasons for Kathy's behaviour? What can staff do to help? Kathy is behaving in this way to avoid what she sees as a demand or invasion of her space. Once Kathy has started her self-injurious behaviour, she cannot stop. Initially it may say, "I don't want to do something," or "I'm wet," or "I am in pain." But once the sequence has begun, Kathy now has difficulty in stopping.
Don't know, maybe she's got a headache. Oh, all right, Kathy.
Kathy becomes upset when people invade her space. Therefore, staff protect her by moving Gerald away.
Hi, Gerald. Do you want to go and get your video?
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and get your video.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, brilliant. All right, Kathy.
Some gentle movement can help Kathy.
Slow down.
Many self-injurious behaviours tend to consist of linear movements.
Don't want to do that.
Gentle circulating movement helps to break the sequence and has a calming effect, distracting the person. In our experience, calming movements will vary greatly from person to person.
Okay, Kathy, let's try this. Try this.
By using some simple aids, it may be possible to
That's
teach
it.
some
Well done,
alternative
that's good.
movements that will also distract from the behaviour.
Good.
Another example of this is using a Walkman, playing some gentle sounds or music. We call these accommodations. What can staff do to help Kathy's communication needs?
There's your tea, Gerald.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
You all right, Kathy? Won't be long.
Not all of Kathy's behaviours will disappear, but we can help.
Yeah.
Kathy is trying to say that she wants a drink.
Yeah.
Sometimes trying to say what she wants can be frustrating for her. On this occasion, she has only a limited number of ways to ask for a cup of tea. Therefore,
now, Kathy.
understanding this and trying to help her communicate her needs successfully may improve her behaviour.
Okay. All right.
She can also be helped by reinforcing her attempts at communication and by teaching her new ways to express her needs.
Well done, Kathy. You thirsty? Okay, let's make a cup of tea. Won't be a minute, Paul. All right?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go to the kitchen. Well done. Come on.
We know these difficulties have a lot to do with movement disorders. These demand that we help people stuck in physical or verbal sequences. Gerald has difficulty walking upstairs.
Come on, Gerald. Remember your numbers?
Yeah, numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good boys will go to heaven. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good boys will go to heaven.
Gerald is literally stuck in a sequence. What is seemingly strange behaviour is a help to him to get around the problem. Sometimes low arousal approaches mean we should help people to carry out such strategies in their own time.
Obviously, staff are very unhappy about violence, and they'd always find that difficult. But as well as that, I think sometimes staff will respond to things which on the surface aren't particularly challenging. perhaps not from the outside, but when you're living with it day after day, it becomes challenging. So an example of that might be a sort of constant verbal abuse. And it's easy for me to go into a staff team and tell them, well, that's not, you've been called worse than that. But when it's 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, then it becomes a problem.
In my experience, the sort of behaviours staff hate most centre around protecting other people. When there's an individual that they find it difficult to manage, where it's making a lot of demand on their time and energies to the neglect of others around them, is one of the main areas. But I think it'll also be very different for each individual. For example, I might not mind being hit and slapped about, but I won't like having feces spread all over me, or I might not like having to clear up spit. Other people will find that okay, and will find being shouted at or screamed or persistent questioning much more difficult.
As with any of us, they need to be treated with respect, they need to be given choice, and they need to have active control over their life. And I think, as with any of us, when those things don't happen, they can become frustrated, aggressive, and often depressed.
I know I prefer to be treated, and that's with some kind of respect and understanding, and with a bit of empathy, particularly if I'm upset. If I'm upset, I don't want people telling me to calm down, and I certainly don't want people making the situation worse. I like people to listen to me and to give me time so that I can work through my emotion. And I think that's the same for people we work with. The things that upset them are the things that upset me. And in managing that situation, we have to treat others as we would want to be treated.
What behaviours do you find most difficult to tolerate? In all the examples, a good attitude combined with a positive relationship is a strength. Involving people in meaningful activities is an essential tool of management. In many cases, developing predictable routines which incorporate both light physical exercise and relaxation has proved to be useful. We also know that developing appropriate environments helps us to reduce incidents.
A consistent approach is essential. At its foundations, low arousal is about valuing people and not losing sight of the fact that we are all individuals.
Kevin has been a resident at a long-stay hospital on a locked ward for many years, often being restrained and secluded. He has benefited from a low arousal approach. Staff changed to a low arousal philosophy, reducing unnecessary demands and requests, and allowed him more choices. He now lives in a community setting where his aggression is viewed as assertion by many staff. His levels of physical violence has reduced, and he has been taught ways of expressing his frustration more appropriately. This may mean breaking the occasional object rather than being physically aggressive to other people.
I'm my best now, I am. Yeah.
Sorry, didn't catch
I'm my best now. I'm all calmer now. Pin me down and injected me. Yeah.
How many people would do that, Kevin?
4 or 5. 5 people to hold me down. Belt me on the ear on that now. Doesn't behave himself like Kevin, that he was awful. I felt drowsy, I felt sleepy, I felt. Yeah. I understand now. Now I'm not being built anymore. I know the side of them gone down, they didn't reject me anymore. I'm off all my drugs now, I am.
Low arousal would be the way in which the staff actually deal with the client on an hour-to-hour basis, a way of avoiding confrontations, a way of trying to meet needs, and a way of making sure that people actually are empowered within their situation, within their homes.
One of my concerns for the training was, would it increase the number of physical challenges that we were experiencing with individuals, and would the staff team resort to physical challenges and physical responses? I found that by emphasizing low arousal philosophy. In fact, there was a decrease in the number of incidents, and people very often, although practicing the skills, never use physical skills because they adopted the philosophy and the practice of planning to avoid the incidents and distracting. To me, that was a very successful implementation of a training program.
I think low arousal is an integral part of all our approaches. It's essential, it's fundamental to what we do.
Give me a choice. I like my own choice.
The reduction of Keving's aggression was the subject of a case study in 1998.